Alright everyone, here we are with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. To all the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all the subscribers, welcome back. All I ask for in return is for you to smash that like button to let me know you watch this video and to stay tuned on in towards the second half of the video, guys. Right after this chart analysis, I have a ticker symbol to share with you, as well as the opportunities we found this morning over at the Discord. We hit a home run of 20 to 25% plus on the day. It was phenomenal, and we had several 3 to 5% and 5 to 8% opportunities, and our second best was 10 to 15%. So stay tuned for that, and if that's something you want to become part of and you want to know what stocks I watch daily, you're more than welcome to join us. The link is down below in the description to the Discord, and by joining you'll become part of a growing community of investors all looking to learn and grow together to maximize profits and minimize losses. So here we are with WISH stock, WISH stock, ContextLogic stock. So ContextLogic stock had actually ran. We talked about why it could go higher yesterday. It certainly did, and it hit a cap here of $16. But one of the most important things to remember is that this stock nearly 2.5x, and a lot of investors were going to just run with profits. That's exactly what happened, because when you look at this chart, that's exactly what you could see. Now, it's still 30% away from hitting where it started, right? The short squeeze started, or this run. So there might be not just a setback, but if not a setup to run again, and it could actually short squeeze again. But I find it very weak right now where the stock is, and the fact that right now it's in a tug-of-war zone and it broke through all the support levels we talked about yesterday. You know, this stock is getting closer and closer to weakness. Now, I'm not saying it can't run back up again, but it's getting much harder every single time, especially when yesterday's volume was close to the same amount of volume as today, and the same amount of volume as today has been nothing but sell-off, right? Right at the bell, it just sold off. It didn't even try to come back up, have some strength. You know, the highest point that it reached was up here at $16 and some change. We also looked at the previous, resistance levels based off the history of the chart at $18, $20, all that fun stuff. This stock lost momentum really, really fast. So what are we going to look for going into tomorrow, and what are the possibilities of this going back up? Well, the fact that it's actually falling that fast, the possibilities are getting slimmer and slimmer. But there are some points to watch here, just like we talked about support levels yesterday that we needed to watch to understand what's going on. We have some resistance levels to pay close attention to. So the first thing is the 50-day moving average, and that is 1054. This is super close. Anything above it is bullish, anything below it is bearish. Now, if it breaks through 1054, this is an informal support level, but I would use it, and that's 902. To see if the bulls try to reappear and bring it back up, or if the bears are tearing this down fairly fast. Now, what resistance level do the bulls need to break through? Well, they need to break through this point right here, and that's 1235. They need to turn that into a support to break away from it, reach newer highs, new resistance levels, and continue a momentum of showing that this is not a setback, if not a setup, to run higher again. We're going to have to see. This is in tug-of-war zone, but it also will pull away from the 50-day moving average, reaching upwards and giving leverage to the bulls. Now, the true resistance level that the bulls need to break through is the highest point before the fall, and that was in the pre-market here of 1595. 1595 needs to be broken through and turn into a support so that the bulls can actually now continue this run, continue the momentum, continue the rally, and force another short squeeze by making the shorts cover. Okay, that's really interesting to see how fast shorts cover. There was a lot of call option volume. I was concerned about how high the call options could go, because that could also do the Max Pain thing about the highest a stock could go, the lowest it could go. So it is very important to be aware of that, and this stock certainly lost traction fast, and now we need to see if the bulls can reappear or if the bears are going to continue to tear this one down. This was the most searched stock and looked at stock yesterday to today, and it's one of the most traded, as you could see by volume, right? If we look at it here, you can see that it's one of the most traded stocks of the day. It's literally the second one. CLOV is the first one, which we're going to talk about that in my next video, but it is something to be aware of and pay close attention to these cues. If you learned something new, don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell so you don't miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community so they can receive the insight as well. And all I ask for is 3 to 5 more minutes of your time to share with you guys the opportunities we found this morning over at the Discord, as well as the ticker symbol you won't want to miss that you definitely want to add to your watch list. So the ticker symbol I have for us today is one that I've mentioned before on the Patreon and even announced here on the YouTube shortly after, just a few days later. Right now, the stock has jumped up a 10 to 15% jump, and it's currently pulling back and sitting in a consolidation period sideways. So we're going to look at that chart in just a moment. But before we do, I want to share with you guys the opportunities we found this morning over at the Discord. And if that's something you want to become part of, you're more than welcome to join us. The link is down below in the description. And by joining, you'll become part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together to maximize profits and minimize losses. So we caught CKPT early on in the morning. It pulled back a little bit after hitting those lows. That's when it gave us the 5 to 10% opportunity. It bounced back up after hitting the 320s. NAPT was our worst performer of the day, giving us 3 to 5% on the day after jumping back up. And XERS gave us 5 to 8% after pulling back at the bell and jumping up pretty fast in a matter of 10 minutes. Now WORX was our home run of the day. We caught this one pretty early. It didn't have a lot of volume and it had been jumping 10% twice in the last several minutes in that morning. So the volatility was huge. I saw an opportunity here, and this was getting close to becoming a home run after it hit like 10% plus, and all of a sudden it took off even higher. So we're going to look at the chart right now and why it's so important that timing and execution is everything, but knowing where to look gets you started, and from there on out you need to look at the charts. So when I mentioned it, it was at 221. It was pulling back, still above the 50-day moving average, hit a low here of about 198 and shot up to a high here, right? The highest point of 247, and right here was 245, giving the highest point of the day a 20 to 25% jump. The highest point was 25%. It was phenomenal for the day on a Wednesday with all the volatility going on in meme stocks and all the stocks overall. All these short squeezes jumping up, pulling down. This turned out to be a home run for the day. Phenomenal. If this is something you want to become part of and you want to know what stocks I watch daily, you're more than welcome to. The link is down below to the Discord, and we look forward to having you join us. So what stock do you want to add to your watch list? Well, this stock is one that I've talked about. Let's go ahead and look at it here together. Back on May 16th, and it was Affirm Holdings, guys. AFRM. We're going to look at the chart together in just a moment. But interesting enough, back on May 16th, I was talking about CLOV as well. So you get to know about stocks way before these squeezes happen. Now, I didn't know that it was going to be a squeeze like this. I was going off of the history of the chart that it had given us 10 to 30% jumps before, and it was heading towards the 7s. It went a little bit lower. It was sitting in the 7s when I talked about it, and this pulled back. And from that point forward, whoever held patiently, it jumped up, giving them 100% all the way up to 200% since then. So if you want to know stocks I'm watching weekly as well, once you join the Discord, you get access to my weekly and daily watch list. Now, Affirm Holdings, we were talking about it as it was pulling downwards, and you're going to see it here, right? Back here, it was at $54. The lowest point it had recently hit was 47, and it actually took off higher than that when we look at the chart now. So this already gave 10 to 20% since that point. Well, a little bit closer to 10 to 15, but almost above 15 as well at its highest point, and it's pulling back down now. So this is a great time to actually be watching this stock if you don't have it already on your watch list. Why? Because this stock has long-term potential. Now, if we go ahead and put here the 30-minute, we can go back to when we first talked about it. It was at this point, pulled back down to 50, pulled back down to 49. That was very interesting how I even talked about it here. You know, back in January at 49 a share, it was when the IPO happened. If it got closer to that, very interesting, certainly happened. And from that point forward, it took off to $65. So when you do the math, that right there was definitely close to 10 to 20%, 15 to 20% in that jump, catching either on the 50s, the 49, all the way to the peak of 65. Now the stock is in a slight consolidation period because when you zoom out, yes, it doesn't look like it's consolidating, it's going straight up, but the way it's pulling back, it almost seems like it's going to kind of sit in a sideways movement, forming a consolidation or go into further weakness, right? Now, if it does consolidate, this is a great time to watch it and understand this stock. If it continues to pull back, the opportunity is becoming even bigger. But if it doesn't do that, which would be the best case scenario, it will slightly consolidate, pull back, and all of a sudden start to go back up. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go straight up like that. Obviously, it has to kind of consolidate, form like a staircase effect, and work its way up. As you see here, taking its time. It won't happen overnight. This is a long-term stock, in my opinion. But you definitely want to do your research and due diligence to understand this stock and why you want to add it to your watch list. But as always, guys, this is information to enlighten you guys on what stocks I'm watching, why I'm watching them, and why I see an opportunity. It is not financial advice. I'm not here to tell you to buy, sell, or hold any of these positions, but I am here to share with you guys what I'm seeing and what others may overlook, right? Because there's so many ticker symbols out there, and sometimes we don't even know or we miss them. So we try to catch them before they run. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.